think. I renamed it.
Okay, recording started. Hello, welcome to the Giver class, book class number 5 actually.
Yeah. Yes, number 5.
Okay, chapter number 5. Love, sex, young. What else?
No sex over there. Where did you see sex?
Dreams.
Yeah, it's about our dreams. A puberty boy about dreams. That's it.
Okay, so in the last chapter, we talked about some volunteer hours that were being done in the House of the Old. And Fiona and Jonas and Asher were bathing old people. And Larissa told us about the wonderful releasing of Roberto and pathetic Edna. So now we're continuing. This is the next day, I guess. It's the morning. And our first question that we're going to discuss is, what morning ritual did this community have? Anyone can tackle that.
What morning ritual did this community have?
Morning ritual, yeah.
Well, morning ritual is when I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go on.
It's about when the family meet together. I think they are eating breakfast and they talk about their dreams they have the night before. Yeah.
Okay. And what were there any interesting dreams the previous night?
Well, actually, Lily, she dreamed about, she took her mother's bicycle, and he been caught by the security guards, because in the community, people, they are not allowed to take the other people's bicycle. So I think it's kind of forbidden. I mean,
and she's too young anyway, so that's why she was kind of scared of being caught, and she did not have her own bicycle. That's why they're not allowed to ride any other bicycles. So she should come of age first.
So she actually committed 2 sins. She took someone else's bicycle, and she wasn't supposed to ride a bicycle. She's too young. Okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, this is, I think, this is one breaking of the rules, because she cannot take well, she wouldn't have taken her mother's, just so that's mother's bicycle in her dream, because she was too young to have her own. Yes.
She needs to wait to turn 9 for get her own bicycle.
Vasant, you want to tell us about the mother's dream or the father's?
Yes, mother had a dream about a rule infraction, and she was chastised. And when she told about her dream, the father, because of her real life experiences just had happened before, because she was talking about some person who was trespassing the rule or something. So
you had broken some rule twice. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And the father said he had no dreams.
No dreams.
All right. Gerard, since you came, can you tell us have you read the story?
Yes, but I read the book twice, but not recently.
Okay, can you tell us what Jonas's dream was about?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
You forgot.
Okay.
Yes, I forgot all the details, by the way, as well. You know, just it was a
Okay.
nice book to read, but I didn't remember. But you know, I reread these stories. Gerard,
okay,
it's very easy. It's
I
very
read-
easy and short chapters.
I read it recently, so I can enlighten you.
Okay.
Okay, so Jonas was dreaming about the situation when he was in the bus, naked, I think, and he asked, actually, I can't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to ask a girl, Fiona, to join him. That's all, actually.
Yeah, he did.
Well-
he did ask her to join him, but she refused. You know,
I
and
think
she
if I
giggled
remember.
and
Yeah.
He was
I
a kind
remember-
of
Go ahead.
it was a kind of situation because he felt himself embarrassed about when he dreamed because he was feeling something about Fiona, but he couldn't understand what is happening. So he didn't want to share about his dream. So father and mother, it was, and thinking, okay, you dreamed something, so you have to tell us what was your dream.
Okay, he didn't want to tell his dream because it was kind of embarrassing to him, but the rules say you have to tell your dream, okay?
Yes.
So in the dream, there was a tub and a bathing room,
Mm-hmm.
and he had his shirt off. He was just bare-chested. And Fiona was there, so he asked Fiona to get in the tub so he could bathe her like an old woman, And she laughed at him and said no, and he got angry, but he didn't know why he got angry. Okay? So why did Fiona laugh at him in the dream? Why do you think?
I can see that Gerard wanted to say something.
No,
Yeah.
I remember those feelings were called stirrings.
Stirrings, okay? All right.
You want to share your own experience.
Erotic. Could we call erotic dreams? Could we call them erotic dreams? But they soft, because they didn't have a background that they could think about that, no, about those feelings. I don't
Yeah.
know.
They only thought about
Someone
those
to share
feelings
his-
for 1 or 2 days, and then something happened. Okay, Vasant?
Fiona was laughing because she didn't take Jonas as serious. She thought he was joking because it's against the rules, so she thought he was joking.
Okay.
It
so
was
she-
the dream, Vasant. She didn't think anything. It was in his dream, just you are taking it too seriously. It was his dream. He didn't even know what it was because he didn't have any experience. And right before that, he was bathing the old lady. He kind of had some thoughts about the human body and everything. So it was just like the first, I don't know, like the beginning of the erotic feelings, just waking up. And he just told his parents that very morning. Poor thing. He didn't even, experience to them at the very fullest,
Yeah. And he probably knew that Fiona wouldn't feel that way, and because she never acted that way, so he probably correctly dreamed about her response.
Well, but he understood the rules, the concept of the rules. Nudeness was against the rules. So obviously she would say no, because it was against the rules to be nude in front of each other. So, and as far as we understand, the grown-ups also follow the rule. Appeal, so probably they've never seen each other naked as well. So no need for that.
Okay.
Well, probably it is a situation when he knew okay, it was, something forbidden, something it was in the wrong way. When Fiona in his dream, Fiona probably is the Jonas consents because she didn't want, but he want to see her probably naked because he was, getting some kind of feelings about when his body is changing because he is 12 and kids at this age, their body changes.
Okay. Okay, we'll jump down to a critical thinking question just to keep things in sequence. Jonas was surprised that his parents didn't immediately want to discuss this part of the dream. They said thank you and kind of got quiet. So why do you think his parents reacted that way?
Let me see.
What I think is, sorry. Okay. Because Lily was there, so they didn't want her to hear their discussion. So they wanted her to go away, then have some private time to talk with him.
Okay, Lily was present, so they wanted to get her out of the discussion. All right. Any other comments?
Well, probably they, like the parents, they are not ready to discuss this kind of situation because, how can I explain you? It's something similar what happens to us when we are changed. You need to ask your mom or your father about this situation, and probably they don't are ready for explain you because they didn't get any talking with their parents before because they can taking pills probably for suppress this kind of feelings, so they don't have any experience about this subject.
Okay, so normally you need a little preparation before you talk about that topic to organize your thoughts. Okay.
So it's Lily in the morning, and plus they don't get ready for this discussion. Don't get any experience.
I don't think that there is a discussion at all. I don't think they have this discussion. So what to discuss? Just okay, the incident is reported, the child gets the pill. What to discuss? So what the consequences are. So there are nothing. I mean, okay, all these flowers and the bees talk, we have with our kids. Why do we do that? Because there can be consequences of the, like something can happen if you don't follow the, I don't know how to say that. So if so you want to just to explain the child what can happen if the child is not understands the consequences of the actions, right? But here, what are the consequences? Well, that you have these kind of unknown feelings and you got the pills. Nothing is happening, just I think that I was actually surprised why not father, but actually probably it doesn't matter in this situation, father, mother, for them, who gives the child the pill. So, and do you remember that Jonas told that one of the announcements was the occurrence of stirrings should be reported immediately because of the treatment. So that's the only thing they are concerned about. So they should be reported immediately, right after happening, because they need to take this pill as soon as possible. So that's their only concern. So why to give the food for thought and explain something more to the child? They just try to avoid giving this food for thought, you know, just something for imagination and to run amok. So I don't know. I think that mother just explained everything very, very, precise how it is. She told that some kids already use the pill, yeah. Some kids in the class, and boys are usually earlier, and the girls will get the pills later, and all the kids will get them eventually. So what else? What else to discuss? They don't even remember all those feelings because they happened so long time ago, you know. Yeah, right.
They are treated like an illness, I think. They don't know what they really are, those feelings. No, they don't see them the way we see them, you know. It's not that they know. I think the good idea is what you have to vaccinate your children to take this medication, otherwise you can get ill. So it's I think they see parents sees those things like this, like an illness, which must be treated.
Just imagine, his parents took those pills from the age of 11, 12. Possibly know about those feelings, you know. They've never had them. They just started to feel something and they got the pill. Just nothing to discuss.
Yes, but Diana's assumption adds more point to my assumption, because we all know that Lily was very talkative and she talks too much.
Yeah.
So if they give the pill in front of her, then she would ask so many questions. So it's really against the rule, because she's just only 8, I think.
She'll be 8. Yes.
So
it will lead so much of explanation. So I think the parents didn't want that.
Yeah. They don't want Lily to know all this because she's too young for that, and she does not know the feeling, so she will need more explanation. And probably they just don't know and don't want to do that in front of her.
She'll probably run around asking people, "What's this? What's this?"
She's so curious.
Awkward conversations.
But that's also against the rules. So probably she would not. But her parents, she might ask her parents, and they also kind of probably don't want to talk too much on the topic.
Okay.
To arouse her interest, to her curiosity, something like that. I don't know.
Like, I think Jonas's point, though, was when he mentioned it, normally Jonas doesn't dream. So when he has a dream, usually his parents pummel him with all kinds of questions. But this time when he said his dream, they just got quiet. So that just kind of surprised him, that they said, "Thank you," and didn't ask any more questions. Okay. Okay, so that was what puzzled him. Okay. At what age are children required to start telling their dreams?
Yeah.
And why?
Yeah.
Was there a why?
Do you remember, guys?
Yes.
No, there was no why. Yeah.
It's 3, I think, from the age of 3.
So I don't know why, but maybe that's when the kid is articulate enough to say what they dreamed. Okay, so what were Jonas's feelings towards Fiona?
Hard to say.
We kind of have an idea, though.
Yeah.
He likes her.
Yeah.
Okay. He was attracted to her, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is definitely him. He feels something.
Okay.
Something. Nobody knows what. Some pill killed everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Turn on the light, please. Oh,
Okay,
thank
so he was beginning to be sexually attracted to her, whatever that means to him. Okay,
you. Yeah.
all right. So
Actually,
go ahead. Go ahead.
just to return to the question, to Ivan's question about why at the age of 3. So I thought that probably Ivan knows the answer, why they started asking such a small, like a toddler, things. What about your
Well,
ideas, Ivan?
I don't know exactly, because I always ask my children about about their dreams, and it's usually it's nothing useful. They cannot describe it.
Okay, what do you call useful?
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, what is useful for you?
anything to make a conclusion. It's something they do two type of answers. First one, when they just don't remember, just nothing that go away, and second one, when they start to make a fantasy just now. It's not about dream. It's what they
Yeah.
want to discuss just now. So it's always useless. It's not about dreams at all.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, Vasant?
And there are two factors. One is the child's memory, because before 3, their memory is very vague, and it's hard to remember all those dreams. And the second factor is the language they speak, right? They cannot express because before that age, they could not speak too much words. They are learning their language, so it's hard to explain that dream perfectly.
Yeah.
Why to ask them in the first place? Why to ask them to tell their dreams? 3.
Because-
What? It's small. Yeah. Small
Yeah.
child.
They don't know much. Don't know much to dream about, really.
Right.
Well, I can remember my very very beginning dreams when I was too young. It's mostly when I dream it mostly was a nightmare. I was lost or something like that. I was
Yeah.
finding for someone, and something terrible happened. It's always, and I don't know. I never was asked about that. And I don't know why I ask my children, but maybe my hope is if something really bothers them, it will be a channel for them to share that to me
Yeah.
in form of dream or something like this. So I try to find another channel to communicate with them.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all.
Mhm.
There.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I usually ask Bojana about her dreams as well, and sometimes she dreams about something scary, something bad, and she tells that. But actually, I can hear that she can, in her sleep, or just wake up because something bad is, just bothering her. But I think in this situation it's a little bit different. They have those rituals, so that's kind of crucial for them, right? To ask for that. Probably they try to do that from the very early age in order just to train the children, them all the truth, because it's very important for them to know all about these feelings, about all those and even in the dreams or breaking. Do you remember, like mother told Lily when she shared this breaking rule dream, she told her, okay, do you see what can happen? So they were talking about the consequences of breaking the rule, not about like the dream, but the consequence of breaking the rule. So it's kind of a cautionary. So that was interesting. So, but age of 3, just as soon as they start communicating, so to say. So yeah, that's kind of early, but probably it's easier to control them in such a way. So from the early age, it is just easy. Gerard wanted.
Yes, I think the most important thing about remembering the dreams from the 3 years old is that it's an exercise of because it's so easy to forget the dreams. So they are trained to remember them, and because they need this skill in order to prevent the stirrings to arise.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you can get the medication, so that's important, a step of their life, being able to remember the dreams.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tario, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I agree because they need to control what the people are thinking. So it's controlling, monitoring what is happening. So they can, it's kind of warning. Something is thinking more than they need to think. So it's, it's kind of enclosed in something. So it's okay. You don't need to think more. You don't need to dream. You don't need to feel about something. It's about control.
Okay, good. There's actually, I've read a book. There's standard kinds of dreams that most people have. You dream about being late for a test and you didn't study. You dream about something chasing you and you're running in slow motion. You dream about you're somewhere and suddenly you're naked and you go, oh my God, I got no clothes. There's certain standard dreams. I'm not sure why. Have you had those kind of dreams?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've never had that naked one, but I still have this reoccurring dream of tests. Music, by the way, I shared it in my blog on loop. I think I have this test in music school, and I haven't practiced for years, and that's just a nightmare for me because I know that I need to do that soon. And that the other one, when I'm chased and I cannot move because it's just like every movement is so slow. Yeah, I have this one.
Vasant, the witch chased you and you ran slowly? Yep, okay.
Did she catch you? Did she catch you? Okay, she was slower than you in the dream.
Later I tried to jump and I was flying.
Cool. That's a good one.
Well,
yeah, my wife cheats. She flies. I said, well, that's no fair. I'm running on the ground and you're flying up in the air. That's not fair. Hey, Vaughn.
I often had this one with run slowly, but it's not because someone chasing me. Because I'm chasing someone.
And you cannot move, because it's so hard.
And cannot move fast enough, and I miss this victim. I don't know what is that or something.
The only nightmares I've had was when I first got out of the Navy. I left the Navy. I would have dreams for about the next 5 or 10 years that I was suddenly back in the Navy again. And I was thinking, what am I doing here? Finally, those stopped after about 20 years. But okay. So dreams are interesting. Okay. What was the treatment for the stirrings?
Take a pill.
Pretty straightforward, yes.
There's an app for that. There's a pill for that, okay?
Yeah, it's a pill for everything, right?
All right. How long do you have to keep taking this pill?
Forever.
Since you have your first stream until you enter to the house of the old. So your whole life.
Pretty much your whole life.
Life, yes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I just threw in this question as an awareness question. How do you pronounce this word?
Cupboard.
Okay, the P is silent, so we pronounce it cupboard. Okay. And those are your cabinets in the kitchen. For some reason, we call them cupboards. I don't know why. Okay, so kitchen cupboards.
So this is board for cups.
A board for cups?
No, boards, like the board, the actual board. So you put the cups on that.
cupboard. That may be where it originally came from. Yeah, I didn't think about it, but you're right. It was just one shelf at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, this chapter stated that Jonas ignored, as most citizens did, many of the commands and reminders read by the speaker. So why do you think most of the announcements were ignored by people?
I think they didn't mention the name of the of who they are trying to convey the message. So it's mostly a general announcement. So that's why I think people ignored it.
Okay, the announcements are usually kind of not directed at anybody by name.
But I think it's probably because the pills, because I don't know, I have the feeling that the pills are kind of suppress feelings, so that people don't feel anything about the other people, so they don't care about what the speaker is saying. So
I also think that sometimes when you hear the same information for, you just kind of lose the novelty, lose the, So when you listen to this, when you hear the same information over and over and over again, it's not exciting, not important anymore. Like it's like the routine. It's the routine, so you don't pay much attention to it.
Okay. What do you think most of the announcements are about anyway? What would you guess most announcements are about?
Today for breakfast we will have beans and chicken.
We had the examples of those messages, like 8-year-olds or 7-year-olds females should have bows tied at all times, at all occasions. Like the rules and all those rules. Right. So they are not very interesting for everybody. That's why you kind of, if you did something wrong, of course, you will probably be more attentive. But if you're nothing wrong.
Most announcements were for people breaking the rules. Don't take food away from the recreation center.
Yeah, you will hear that if you took something.
Yeah. So if the announcements are mostly about breaking the rules, and you know that you're following all the rules, probably most announcements don't apply to you. And like Diana said, if you hear the first couple of words, recreation center, don't take food, click, you turn it off because you've heard it before. Okay. Good. Any other comments?
So is kind of reminder that you don't need to break the rules. So that people, they don't break the rules, okay, just get rid of the comment. It's not important for you.
I'll tell you something about my nuclear business. We have a lot of security doors. They're all locked, and you have to have a card to swipe the card to go through the door. Sometimes you've got to use your hand print. So sometimes we'll go up to doors and there'll be a sign that'll say, radiation hazard. And there'll be another sign saying, call this phone number before entry. And sometimes there's about 10 signs on the door. And someone will go through the door and violate one of the signs. And they say, well, didn't you see the sign? Well, the excuse usually is there were too many signs. If you see one sign, you read it. But when you see 10 signs, you tend to look at them and go, and you don't read them. So we have that problem. Overload, information overload.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you do things automatically.
Vasant has a question, I guess.
Vasant?
Yes. Does that pill make the people infertile?
No, they have 50, well, they have 50 babies a year, unless those women don't take the pill. It didn't say. I think it's mostly just suppression, like as Yvonne said, anti-Viagra. It just kills your sex drive. I think, yeah. But for population control, maybe it does make most people sterile. That may explain why they don't have more than 50 babies a year by accident. It's a good point. Maybe that's why birth mothers is a profession, because they don't get the pill. I don't know. Interesting thought.
I don't remember actually. I think that it was explained later, but I don't remember about this pill. So probably, I think that probably it just suppresses this sexual feelings or whatever. And then when this mother is supposed to get pregnant, so they probably do not take pills for some time, because after that, just 3 births, and then they're becoming the start taking the pills afterwards. But
See,
probably
that raises the question: do the adults have sex?
I
don't think so. I don't think so. Probably no.
If this pill works, probably not. They have no interest.
Plus nakedness, the rule about nakedness. So, there wouldn't be the rule just like the general rule. It would have said the nakedness of the children or something like that. But there was the rule about the nakedness. So you shouldn't see the naked body of anyone.
That's true. Only babies and old people. Yeah, not middle age. Good point. Yeah.
Okay, Basil.
Probably no sex. Wonderful. Wonderful community. I like it more and more.
That would also make sure they didn't have more than 50 babies a year. Nobody's interested.
Right.
We have more questions than answers, because probably the birth mothers, they don't take the pill. But what happened with the men? Because they need to get pregnant. So other thing, so they are living in a unit family with mother, father, and 2 kids. And they live together in the same house. But mother and father, they don't feel anything. Say they are living together. They are sharing things. They are talking about their life. So I don't know. It's going to be this strange. So it's...
Why? I know couples like that, living like that without sex. No problem with them. Nothing is strange.
But we are talking about adult in the age of reproduction. We are not talking about the old people.
I'm not talking about old people either.
Okay.
Just middle-aged people, who are not interested in each other. Just living together, and
sex is becoming less popular. It's kind of scary. Why?
Really?
Why? Yeah.
Really? I don't know.
I've read that in the internet. I've read in the internet young couples don't have sex as much as they used to.
But probably they are busy in getting a better job, or get more money, or get fancy clothes or fancy life.
Yeah.
But we are talking about that Jonas community.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
One thing, one point. I think there is no relation between nakedness and sex, because we give too much importance to nakedness. So people who are used to nakedness is not an important thing. It doesn't arouse them, For instance, we compare us with Muslim people. They feel only watching scenes uncovered woman can be something that arouses them. But for us, it's nothing. Even we go to the beach, women are almost naked, and we don't feel anything because we are used to that. So, what should nakedness be forbidden? Even they take those pills. Right? I don't think the relationship. I think it's given too much importance to nakedness.
Okay, but they in this community gave this importance to the nakedness. That's not us. It's their rule. They had the rule about nakedness, so they prohibited nakedness.
So they no need to see that other people naked. Is forbidden. Is breaking the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think that sometimes forbidding something leads to the opposite effect?
In real life, yes.
Yeah. That's why
Remember
there is a pill.
The prohibition times in America.
Yeah.
Alcohol was prohibited, but everybody wanted to drink more than
yeah.
That's right. Like the Men in Black. Whatever you do, don't push the red button.
And you push the red button.
Or don't think about pink elephant, right? Never think about the pink elephant.
Yeah. A good point. Okay. All right. And the only last question I have for this chapter is Jonas was thinking always better, less rude to talk about things that were the same instead of things that were different. So why did he believe that was true? Why is it better to talk about things that are the same than things that are different in this community?
Because they love monotony.
They love monotony.
They don't like change. They don't like change.
Well, they are living in a controlling more voice. I don't know if it's monotony. They are, the committee and their same, their society want this. Is no change, nothing. Okay.
Okay, I would say that sameness is good. Differences lead to discussion. Discussion leads to thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't like people to think.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So this is all connected to those rules, just when you speak about the, like in previous chapter, as far as I remember. So if you talk about the differences, you are there is the rule about this rudeness. So we can be rude. So because you touch something, okay, you're coming kind of on a dangerous ground, right? You can speak about the things which the other person feels awkward about, not comfortable with. So that's why them according to their rules. So that's why to speak about these same things kind of safe for them. So we're all the same. So.
Well, as for me, if we change this same word for common, I would accept this because culture is different, and in our culture, in Russian culture, we always looking for differences, always. So it's kind of culture code. When you meet someone, you start to talking, and you have a conflict from thin air, just because you just find the point when you have difference. Why you need that? I don't know. You have the same.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't think that's the problem is in these differences. The problem is with no acceptance of the difference,
That's
here.
That's true. But if you did not look for this difference, not acceptance is not important, right? If you did not look at, but we always start conversations like we like the same music, the same women, the same politicians, but you like planes, but I like ships, and fight is begin, and it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
And
I think it's like it is. it is human thing, you know, just we love the likeness, but actually it is more interesting to find the differences, you know, just and kind of start something from this, you know. I don't think it is like your like Russian thing. I think that everybody is looking for those differences and trying to like comparison. It's like, I think it's human. What we do, we compare ourselves to others. And you know, it's sometimes it is look, okay, we are better because we do it this way, and you are worse because you are doing this that way. So that's the usual thing. I think that everybody does that.
Mm-hmm.
But not there. Over there, they just need to be the same. So
in many cases,
I
just compare foreign talk with what I had with foreigners and talk with what I had there here in my place, and I think that people abroad must more polite. They don't insist on these differences, but we thought to make it a general topic. If you find anything, make it, the fight is begin. Something like this.
Yeah.
We have an expression, talk about the weather, because nobody can usually argue about the weather. Okay, but politics, religion, those things people get into heated arguments about. So we call the
people.
of anger, yeah. So the community doesn't like strong feelings, right?
No, because if they hear something different, it means problems. It's a troublemaker, and they don't want to anyone, a strange situation. Yeah.
Okay. That's really all I had on this chapter. Any other comments about this chapter or previous chapters? Or the community in general?
No, I would like to know the process, how the birth mothers get pregnant, because it's something that is very strange.
Yeah. It never says how the birth mothers get pregnant, but let's broach that topic. Do you think they would use an artificial means, like artificial insemination, or do you think they'd use a real person to do the act?
Well, I think probably in Jonas community exists birth mother. Probably it could be the other part, like a man time prepare for get the woman pregnant. So,
do you think what they use people, or they use
they are a specific men that
certain men? Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know how to explain you.
Okay. Designated partners.
Yeah, the second
someone with with skills for that. Yes, the special guy.
Well.
The best of the best.
A couple of men that don't have to take the pill. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Gerard?
Yes, I remember the point is not explained in the book.
Yeah.
They don't explain?
It's not explained about what
Sorry,
men.
it's not explained in the book.
No,
Can you imagine
spoiler.
that? It's not even explained.
It's a spoiler, yes. Well, the way that men, if men they need the seed, so they shouldn't take the pills, I think, unless they use other more complicated means, like I don't know, with DNA. I don't know, other ways.
Maybe DNA kind of thing.
That maybe they would.
Yeah.
Okay, Vasant.
Maybe medical extraction of the sperm and medical injection or fertilization of the egg in the test tube, what we call in vitro fertilization. Do you know in vitro fertilization?
Yeah.
It's all done outside the body, and then they put the fertilized egg back in.
Mhm.
So there's artificial ways to do it, and there's real ways to do it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Good.
They don't like the real ways, I think.
Yeah.
The real ways are just too dangerous for them. They make people feel and think and
Yeah.
want. All those wantings make
So
come.
yep. So probably they use a medical technique that's cold and clinical, right?
We will see in the next chapters what is happening.
Torel is really wants to get to the point. How is it done?
Actually, I had a lot of questions, so it's a lot of holes in the history. So in the chapter, just release a few things. So it is make me feel curious about what is happening next.
This was written as a young adult novel, so it was written for teenagers, young teenagers,
Yeah.
15, 16, 17. So in that regard, it might not want to get too specific, because it doesn't want to give those teenagers ideas.
Too many of them. Kind of like in the community, just
Exactly.
forget about that.
Exactly. Okay. All right. Were there any vocabulary words anyone had questions about? Weren't a lot of advanced words in this one.
Just, I'm missing something when I don't remember who talked about what age the kids needed to talk about their dreams is about of 3, but I can find the paragraph in the chapter when they are telling us, when the writer telling us the age of 3.
Okay, all you have to do is just search for the word 3. And let's see. Let me see. I thought I saw it somewhere.
Because I don't remember this point of the chapter when the kids are 3.
Okay, it's on page 15. There's a line that says, "They all laughed. Dream telling began with 3s."
Okay.
It's just a very short sentence.
Yeah. It was right after father joked about Gabe telling the dream because he was a new baby, new child. So Gabe gave him the turn to tell his dream, and everybody laughed because telling started with 3s, and nobody knew that if the kids dreamed at all. So.
Okay, good. So, yep. So that's where they were joking with Gabe, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what else.
Thank you. I found it.
Found it? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. I guess that's all I have. Any other comments? Is this community a place that you would like to live now? Are you becoming more and more in love with it, or more and more against it?
It's a boring place. Boring.
But
I would die.
It's good for vacation,
Good vacation spot? Okay.
Yeah, if you have too much in your life, just go there, eat your beans, brought to you by the crew, by the people. Just think about nothing. You have everything. You have your tunic, nobody else. So no fashion, nothing like that. You have no sex. So makeup
Maybe
is not-
I will take these pills back to real life. You know.
Okay, Vasant?
How does the speaker find that they are talking about stirrings or any other thing? Do they have microphones around them?
Yeah, there's apparently speakers all over the community. Remember in chapter 1 when the plane went overhead? Speaker said, "Everyone go inside." So it seems like there's speakers everywhere, and maybe on the TV too.
But what about the people's sayings? Because how do they find out they are talking about something against the rule? I'm not talking about the speakers. I'm talking about the microphones to get to receive what they are speaking.
Well, that's what I mean. There's big speakers. I think there's speakers in the community. So when a person makes an announcement, it comes out speakers all over the community so everyone can hear the announcement.
I
It
think
may-
Vasant is asking. I think Vasant is asking how the speaker knows about the stirrings of a child or something. Is that what you're asking about? I think that the parents are reporting them or to take the pills for the new member of the adult community. Yes, they just report.
We're talking about, I don't know, but I think that last week I thought it was kind of videos or cameras in the community because they can count the people doing, breaking the rules. So probably the parents hiding cameras. I don't know.
It could be. It could be two things. They may have a schedule to make, every day they might make a stirring announcement, or every 2 days or once a week. Or as Deanna said, maybe the parents call the elders and say, "My son had the stirrings today. I've put him on the pill. The rules are safe," and they use that report to trigger an announcement. I don't know.
They
But
just,
I think
yeah.
Teacher Lee just found an answer. Where they get these pills? They just asked for pills from somewhere.
Yes.
Good point.
That is the answer.
The food delivery people bring them.
Yeah, probably.
That's delivery. They deliver everything to the door. So they need to know that, okay, they need more pills now because there is the third person in the family who's taken them. That's it.
Good point. So they know when someone starts. Okay.
So I think it's the best part of this community. You need to, that the very
Delivery.
Yes, the delivery. You don't need to do anything. Just delivery every morning. That's the best part.
Okay, Toriel, but just imagine that you want caviar this morning and you got beans to your door.
Okay.
Point, Yeah, or strawberries with cream.
Well, probably they don't know what is caviar. They need, they know beans
I'm
or
just
vegetables. Or just
Give
water.
an example. Today I don't want beans. I want apples or apple pie for my morning or pancakes. But no, you've got beans because that's in your box.
Yeah. Okay, everyone, our time is up. So we'll stop here. Thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Assignment 6 will come out shortly. And again, you're welcome to write a summary of any chapter if you want to practice your writing, and I'll give you some comments about grammar.
And I have a quick question. Who read the story for tomorrow?
Not yet.
Show of
Not
hands. Come on, guys, 27 pages. Come on, you'd better start today. Like letters are that big, the font is big.